Good evening, my dear, and Happy New Year! We are going to start this year off by looking what's ahead, and we'll start today with looking at the new League of Legends items. Now I hear you think, yes, I can do that. Why would we watch your video? There's plenty of videos about the new items already. And to that I might say, I think that my view on the game might have some interesting little things for you. And as a primary off-meta player, I can give a little insight in the items that others couldn't or wouldn't. I will give you some insight into which off-meta picks can build which item and stuff like that. And so, without further ado, let's get started with Bastion Breaker. Bastion Breaker is a new assassin item, and it gives 55 attack damage, 22 lethality, 15 ability haste, and 2 passives. The first one being Shaped Charge, dealing ability damage to champions or epic monster, deals an additional true damage. My screenshot says it's 0-second cooldown, but that's not true, it's 20 seconds if I'm right. The second one being Sabotage, which boils down to after taking down an enemy, you can attack a turret or a monster to deal a lot of true damage. Both of the true damages also scale with your lethality, and with the 22 lethality that you get from this item, this is crazy already. For our off-meta picks that would like this, of course we have our Pike in the mid lane or in the top lane as the prime example, because we can actually take down enemies pretty consistently, and as soon as we have our Hydra, we can also push and take tower quite fast, leaving us more time to roam and abuse this item pretty well. Of course, we can also build this on other lethality buying split pushers, for example. We could do it on a full lethality Cyan, or for example a full AD Yorick with the split pushing power. For the Yorick, you can send out the Maiden, and when she gets a kill, you can just take a tower, a different tower. And overall, I think on Yorick it is going to be one of the best items. Speaking of Yorick and his little summons, if you have a Yorick and you are jungle, I think this would also be very good on Summoner Belveth. I am going to do a little guide of Summoner Belveth when I have time for that, because I don't see any content on it on the internet, so well. But when we are already on the junglers, I think that it might be a very nice second buy for Leona jungle. After finishing the Trinity Force, you start ganking, and I think if you buy this second, that can speed up your jungle clear, help you with ganking and tower taking. Also a good user for lethality and a jungler, but not that off meta, would be the lethality Udyr, which is good against tanks and stuff like that. And with the one shot that you get on him, I think that it might be quite nice to have a few one shots on jungle monsters and towers as well. And the next thing we would like to do is take junglers into other roles. And so let's take a look at Kindred ADC, which might want to build this item too, with a Q being a very low cooldown, applying the passive often. And because we are Kindred, we of course don't want to stay in lane forever, so the extra turret pushing power is welcome as well. Another jungler for another role. I think that Briar Top might want to buy this item. And speaking of top laners, now we are going to take some top laners and put them into different little spaces. AD Alawi would like to have this item too, but because it is a very hefty price, we might have to take her out from the support role and put her into the mid lane. But we'll have to experiment with that one. Speaking of putting champions in different roles, we might want to build this on AD Poppy, on whatever lane you want. I think that it might even be possible on support, because with AD Poppy you kind of, well, you kind of steal the kills, and that's fine. Just ignore the ADC, I don't know. And our last, a little niche pick, but I guess what is niche when it's off meta, would be Rel Jungle. I think that she might benefit from this as well, because she has a lot of ganking potential, and taking the towers or the epic monsters a little faster after every gank is a nice bonus on top. The next item is called Dusk and Dawn, or, well, double bonk for the real ones, and it's giving 300 health, 70 ability power, 20 ability haste, and 25 attack speed, and has a Spellblade effect. After using an ability, your next attack deals bonus magic damage on hit and applies on hit effects an additional time. I am very excited to play Thresh with this. I think that full AD Thresh, hybrid Thresh, and full attack speed Thresh are all gonna play this, doubling the immense E on hit that is so defining of Thresh in off meta positions. Also pretty nice is gonna be the AP Varus. I don't think that needs explanation. More stacks equals more boom, and also the AP helps. Nautilus also wants this item for his W reset auto, dealing more damage over time and helping with his damage through the AP. A similar thing for AP Tamkench, or the attack speed Tamkench. You just want to apply your debuff faster so that you can swallow the enemy faster or stun them if you don't have your ultimate up. A little more in direction of off meta, we have the AP Smolder, which probably wants this when the W doesn't do the damage you want anymore, and you have accumulated a few stacks for your Q, then this can double the on-hit of your Q, which is pretty nice. Also, of course, the AP just helps the damage again. A little niche thing would be the one-shot Vayne build, where you try to one-shot somebody with your Q. Mostly you want to build lethality, but with Dusk and Dawn and with Rageblade, you can instantly proc your passive, which gives you a huge burst. Of course, AP Joe is gonna love this item with his E dealing max health damage and all of his abilities scaling very well with AP. Similar thing, AP Udyr is going to do even more damage, and there might even be a chance that this is going to be played on AD Udyr. Bruiser Braum is gonna love this item as well, giving him AP for a little increase in damage and giving him attack speed to apply his passive more often, as well as applying his passive more often through the effect of Dusk and Dawn. Of course, AP Azrael is gonna love this item too, his W being probably the craziest on hit besides Thresh's E passive in this game. Attack speed Twisted Fate is gonna love this item too, applying his blue card twice, or even just getting to his empowered card faster. With his AP scalings, this is going to hit like a truck. Similarly, attack speed Lulu offers you a lot of on hit, a nice AP scaling, applying Nashor's Tooth twice and increasing the damage through the AP. This item also gives AP Nasus a better late game, even though you don't have that many stacks the stacks that you accumulated will hurt a lot more. Of course, if you go the support route, you will not put a single point into the Q, which makes this not as viable. But if you go AP Nasus top lane or mid lane or jungle or whatever, then you can still CS with your Q and get the benefit from the double bonk passive. AP Irelia is going to love this item too, applying her passive twice after using an ability, which plays very well into the playstyle of AP Irelia. Of course, AP or healing Xin Zhao is gonna love this item too, with the immense heal that he gets from AP and his healing coming from an on-hit passive. This item is just made for him. With the attack speed, ability power, ability haste and health that it grants, this item is just perfect. AP Zeri is not very viable right now, but I think that this item might revive her. Meditating Yi's gonna love this item too. Again, like with Xin Zhao, more health, more AP, ability haste and attack speed, and Yi top is gonna love this, getting more healing from the W and applying his E twice. Rel might want this too, because it applies her E passive twice. Attack speed Blitz is gonna want this too, with it applying his ultimate passive a bunch of times and increasing the damage of the passive and the other abilities. Similar, attack speed Orianna is gonna want this item too. The same thing is also true for attack speed Neko and attack speed Cannon, which really likes the double apply of the passive to get more stun marks on the enemy faster and be able to stun them more often. A little niche thing, the pacifist Tryndamere is gonna love this item too. It increases his heal and it doubles the Hall Breaker damage, letting you take towers more frequently and heal more. The next item on the list is the Actualizer, giving 90 ability power, 300 mana and 10 ability haste, and the passive Mana Made Real. For 8 seconds your mana is empowered. While empowered, your spells cost 100% more mana, you gain increased ability damage, shielding and healing, and your basic ability cooldowns progress 30% faster. I am very excited to play this on Hui, especially in the support position with an item that will come later, playing off the mana and stuff very well, having a lot of sustain through the mana regain of Hui. This item is gonna revive the Hui supports. Okay, this time let's start in alphabetical order. So the first thing I am looking forward to is AP Alistair with this item, giving that one shot a little more damage. Same with AP Ashe, giving her ultimate that final kick that sometimes is missing to one-shot somebody. Blitzcrank also falls under the category of AP, but maybe not enough damage. So do Azrael and Gangplank. Also I look forward to full AP Kog'Maw, not the on-hit Kog'Maw with AP, but the actually ult-based AP Kog'Maw. Again, Meditating Yi is gonna benefit from this item a lot, from the increased healing and from the increased mana, as well as having increased healing just because of the AP. Who I honestly think could make a comeback is AP Melio Mid. This item just gives everything that Melio needs and could actually elevate it into being viable again. I have not found any things on it or even tested it myself, but I think if it works on Mordekaiser, then Paladin Mordekaiser might actually like this. Of course, Nautilus is gonna want this too, getting more shields, getting more damage, very nice for him. AP Rakan is gonna want this too, having that little more damage just to one-shot somebody, or even just heal a little more from the Q poke. Rel might also like this item, but I'm not sure about that one. Who is gonna love it though is AP Tam Kench, just executing people with the ultimate. So is AP Thresh, gonna hit the QE ult combo and just destroy everything in your way. Speaking of pressing ultimate and winning, AP Trundle is gonna like this item too, just burning you for your entire health bar. Same as AP Udyr, who is gonna one-shot even more with this item. AP Varus is also following that trend, just deleting your entire health bar. AP Xin Zhao again wants this for more healing, with the AP helping his healing and his damage as well. AP Zeri might also want this item if she comes back into the meta. Into the meta of off-meta, but into the meta. Going to the next item. The next item is the Endless Hunger, giving 60 attack damage, 5% Omnivamp, 20% Tenacity, having 2 abilities. First, Famine? I don't know. It gives ability haste, and Feast. When a champion that you damaged within 3 seconds dies, gain 15% Omnivamp for 8 seconds. I am very sad about this item, not because it's not cool, don't understand me wrong, it is pretty cool, but because this is the Darken weapon of Solani, which I wanted to be a champion, not a fucking item. But it is a cool item anyways, so I'll forgive Riot. With this item being as good as it is, I actually don't see it in that many off-meta cases. I just think most of the time it's gonna be meta if you build it on a champion. But I think a few champions are gonna love this in an off-meta space. First off, the full lifesteal builds, like lifesteal Nasus, lifesteal Nocturne, lifesteal Udyr, and lifesteal Urgot. A little more niche is gonna be Rek'Sai Top and Lethality Volibear, but who I think is gonna use this item the best is Thresh, actually. With his immense AD scaling on his E and the need for healing, the Omnivamp is a pretty nice thing to have. And whilst before only Riftmaker gave Omnivamp, now this item also gives Omnivamp to Thresh, which he really likes. If you've played this game a little longer, then Stormrazor doesn't need an introduction, but well, Stormrazor is back and I'm very excited to play this on Jhin again. But because this item already has been in the game, I will skip it for today. Same thing for the Hextech Gunblade, which also doesn't need a real introduction. 80 ability power, 40 attack damage and 10% Omnivamp. Again, this Omnivamp is pretty nice for champions that deal AP damage and need lifesteal, like Thresh. This item is also gonna be very good on Thresh, like the other Omnivamp item, and it even plays into the fact that Thresh is a hybrid character. This item will also be good at AP Varus, but I will leave it at that for this item. The next item is the Hex Optics C44, and it's giving 50 attack damage and 25% critical strike chance, and you deal more damage to enemies further away, and when you kill somebody then you get attack range. Attack range being the strongest stat in the game, I am a little afraid of this item. I am very scared of Caitlyn's anyways, and this item is going to be a nightmare. But I guess we can also use it on Jhin, and so I am not that mad about it. Right now I don't have any off-meta ideas for this, but we'll see as the season goes on. The Fiend Hunter Bolts, giving 40 attack speed, 25% critical strike chance and 4% movement speed, and having 2 passives. Night Vigil, gain 30 ultimate ability haste, and Opening Barrage, after casting your ultimate, your next 3 basic auto attacks gain 50% attack speed, and Critically Strike for 75% of your normal critical strike damage for 8 seconds. If an attack would already critically strike, instead it deals 10% bonus true damage. This item is gonna be very nice on a Hail of Blades Djinn, playing into the 3 auto attacks with increased damage very nicely. But sadly, I also don't have really a plan for this item. But we will see what things we can cook up over the season, and you will see this item a lot, I think, because I really like this design. I think we might be playing this a lot. Next, we have the Protoplasm Harness. It gives 600 health and 15 ability haste, and the passive lifeline taking damage that would reduce your health below 30%, causes you to gain maximum health for 5 seconds, then heal health over the duration. This also scales with armor and magic resist, which means this is going to be insane on Thresh. And, well, every other champion that you build full tank. Next up is the other item I talked about when I said I want to play some Hui support, the Whispering Circlet. This is going to get us a lot of new and old off-meta support picks. Every champion that has heal, slow, shield or CC is going to be viable as a support from now on, because we can take the sled and activate healing from slowing or immobilizing enemies and convert this into healing with this item. This is going to be insane for most off-meta supports, and I am so happy that this item exists. It is a tier item and it has to stack, so when it is fully stacked it transforms into Diadem of Songs. It transforms into Diadem of of Songs. It gives 200 health, 8% heal and shield power, 1000 mana, 100% base mana regen. Has the passive of Harmony, gain heal and shield power based on your mana, and consumes while you or an ally you've healed or shielded in the last 3 seconds is in combat with champions. Each second, heal the lowest health nearby allied champion. That also scales with your mana. And now to an item that one of my friends who is a Bard player is very excited about, the Bandle Pipes. With its 2k cost, it is a very affordable item for supports. It gives 200 health, 15 ability haste, 20 armor, 20 magic resist, and has the passive slowing or immobilizing an enemy champion, grants Fanfare. Fanfare grants you 20 move speed. While you have Fanfare, nearby allies, including yourself, gain attack speed. This is going to be a cheap tank support item, and every tank support is going to want this, even the off-meta ones. And maybe if we wait a little, somebody will find another use for this very interesting support item. But that's gonna be it for today. That was every new item and my off-meta ideas for how to use them. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell and like the videos. Maybe give me a comment for the algorithm. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.